Let's talk about the question that trips up almost every job candidate I've ever interviewed. The dreaded, tell me about yourself question. Sounds simple, right? But trust me, most people totally blow it. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to craft the perfect answer so that hiring managers like me will offer you the job you want. So grab a cup of coffee, a notebook, or a pen, anything you need to come back and join me for episode 65, where we'll talk about it all right here on the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast.
Are you a strong, independent woman who's passionate about her career? Then this podcast is perfect for you. Based on her book, The Career Woman's Secret Playbook, career coach Dr. Dawn Hamby shares the kind of insider secrets you can only know if you've hired, fired, and promoted employees over the past 30 years.
Ladies, I'm on a mission to help busy women just like you create a career and life you love without sacrificing your work-life balance to get it. Come join me as we inspire and motivate each other only as women can and have lots of fun along the way.
With Dr. Dawn's tools, strategies, and action steps, you can unleash your personal and professional power in a whole new way. Here's today's episode.
Welcome back to the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn, and today I'm sharing those insider secrets you won't hear anywhere else. How is this possible? Well, because when I work for someone else, I couldn't tell you what you did or didn't do wrong in the interview. HR would have killed me. But now, as a business consultant and coach, I can share all the insider secrets I couldn't mention if you were interviewing for a job with me. So let's dive in. First, let's start with some ground rules. In other words, before we get into all the specifics, let me tell you that experts agree that you have to have a couple of ground rules before you can really give the perfect answer to that question. For example, ground rule number 1, I don't want you talking about your family, your friends, or your personal life. When we ask you, so Jane, tell us about yourself, we're not actually asking you to tell us about your personal life choices, the mistakes you've made, or even the life lessons you've learned. In other words, we're not really asking you to tell us about yourself. We're actually wanting to know more about your qualifications, your experiences, and why you would be a good fit for our company. That's it. In a nutshell, we're just wanting to know more about your professional background and your expertise. Ground rule number 2. Do tell a story. So follow me here. I don't want to hear your life story. That's basically what we covered in rule number 1. But we do want you to tell us about your professional life story. In other words, we want you to tell us a professional work story that's engaging, compelling, complete, and clear. You'll see how all this plays out in the upcoming tips. Now, here's a bonus ground rule. I'm calling this stay calm and carry on. Okay? Think about that for the interview. Because isn't it hard sometimes not to be nervous in an interview? In fact, I think that happens most of the time. But I promise you, as someone who's, again, interviewed thousands of people, myself and the interview team really want you to be calm, to have fun with it even. Because here's the secret. When you relax, smile, and give us that positive energy and confidence, guess what happens? We start to imagine you working for us. We start thinking that you're a great fit. And when the opposite is true, that feeling of uncertainty just kind of gives us this vibe that, man, there must be something off. And that's when we start thinking that you maybe are not going to be a good fit for the company. Okay, are you now ready for the official insider secrets on how to give the perfect answer to that dreaded tell me about yourself question? Drum roll. Can you hear the drum roll in my office for those of you listening to us on the podcast? Here's the 4 things you need to know. And just because I love you, I'm going to throw in 2 extra bonus tips. So here we go with tip number 1. Give us a snapshot of your work history. So go back to that ground rule when I was talking about not giving us your life story, but instead sharing your professional background and expertise. So that's what I'm talking about here. But here's how you frame it. We're going to want a brief, relevant overview of your professional journey. So start with your first professional job that really ties in to the job you're interviewing for. Once you pick that one, focus on an engaging story, including your job title and your responsibilities, how long you were there, and then move on. So let me give you an example. Believe it or not, I started working for XYZ company in the mailroom. It was a humble beginning, but I quickly became known for my attention to detail and my problem-solving skills. Within 5 years, I was promoted to lead project manager, where I was responsible for delivering high-impact results on time and within budget. Today, as vice president of marketing, I oversee a dynamic team and drive market growth through data-driven strategies. Short and sweet, but still very relevant and packed full of important information about the results you've achieved in those previous roles. That kind of storytelling, I promise you, is going to make myself and the rest of the interview team sit up and take notice. Tip number 2, I want you to make these mini stories really achievement oriented. You already picked up on that, I'm sure, from the example I just shared, but let me explain this a little bit more. Don't just list what your responsibilities were in those previous jobs. Really talk about the impact you made and what you accomplished. So, for example, instead of saying, I managed a team of 5, get more specific about what you and your amazing team were able to accomplish. So think about saying this instead. I managed a team of 5 amazing professionals, and together we were able to increase productivity by 25% within 6 months. Now, folks, that is a game changer. By you showing us the metrics and your achievements, that's going to set you apart. Tip number 3 is one of my favorites. Show us that you did your homework. In other words, hiring managers like me can tell immediately if you're winging it. We know if you've done any research at all about us or the company. In fact, if you get to the interview and you've already sent us a LinkedIn request, either before or after the interview, even better. That shows us you're interested in building professional relationships. So again, instead of seeming like you're not very prepared, really think about the role you're applying for and then use your professional expertise to tie that into how you can help us right here and right now. So for example, think about saying something like this. I notice that this role looks like it's focusing on streamlining operations, and I've noticed that your team is tackling X, Y, and Z challenges. Then say, here's how I can help. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a chef's kiss. Tip number 4. I want you to tell us why you're a good fit. Experts agree that connecting those dots between your skills and what our company needs is a real game changer. For example, you might say, with my background in digital marketing and proven track record of driving revenue, I'm confident that I can help your team launch your new campaign successfully. Folks, when you position yourself as the solution to our problems, you are in. So instead of just 4 tips, how about some bonus tips? Bonus tip number 5, start with a hook. In other words, you want to stand out from the very beginning, right? So begin by giving us a powerful statement that really draws us in. For example, you might say, when I started in the copy room 15 years ago, I never could have imagined that I would one day rise through the ranks leading a team of 20 amazing professionals whose one idea helped our company's bottom line by 30%. But here I am. You guys, starting a story like that is going to literally make us lean in and want more. Bonus tip number 6. I want you to practice what you're going to say, but make sure you don't sound too rehearsed. In other words, we know preparation is key, but man, it is easy to sometimes overdo it. I tell my clients all the time to practice so that you sound polished, but you still want it to sound conversational. So another tip I tell my clients is to practice this with a friend or a trusted colleague or family member. Another tip is to actually record yourself. Whip out that cell phone, go to the voice memo section, record yourself, see how you're sounding. You can tell if you're sounding confident to yourself, right? And you want to practice enough until you find that sweet spot of confidence, but with that natural delivery. And there you have it, friends. My insider secrets to mastering the tell me about yourself question. These tips are straight from the hiring trenches, so you know they work. Now, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please tell a friend to tell a friend, share this episode with them, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. You could be part of an incredible journey of helping our podcast grow and our YouTube channel. We want to be able to reach as many amazing professionals just like you. So we would really appreciate it. And if you write us a review, if you're not shy, let me know if you are, and I won't share it. But if you're not shy, I love giving an on-air shout out on a future video or podcast episode. So again, be sure to let us know if you don't mind us sharing that. It means the world to me. I read each and every one of those reviews, and our support from our community really is amazing. And of course, we want you to be part of that. Last but not least, don't forget our motto here at Shop Talk that reminds us to unlock our professional and personal power. And here it is. If you're not having a fantastic day, don't forget you've got the power to make it one. Until next time, everyone, keep shining, keep striving, and go out there and show them that you're the one we've been looking for. I know our episode is over, but this is just the beginning. If you're ready to take action but don't know where to start, just head over to drdonshoptalk.com for lots of free resources, ways to work together, and for even more. Subscribe to the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel. Remember, ladies, you don't have to take this journey alone. I've got you covered. Till next time.